Hi everyone, welcome to week 7 of English 97. You guys, we're in essay 3 now, which is just one before essay 4. So we are kind of almost halfway through the course, which is just amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed our essay 2, and I should get those drafts back to you hopefully by maybe Wednesday this week, and then you can move on to essay 3. So this essay is special because it focuses not only on giving your opinion about an issue that you care about, but also incorporating the ideas of someone else. So we're going to talk about this assignment in more detail, and so let's go ahead and get started. So before we jump into essay 3, what I want you to take a second to do is to reflect on essay 2. So essay 2 was on an interest, something that was interesting to you and that you wanted to encourage others to be involved in. So I know some of you wrote about a hobby that you have, or a place that you've been to, or a issue that you care about and why other people should care about it too. So take a second just to kind of ask yourself, what did I learn from writing essay 2? Did I do better than essay 1? Did I like this one better, or was it a little more challenging? Why do you think we wrote this essay in particular? And then if you were to write it again, what would you do differently? So take a second, pause the video here, and just think about these questions. It'll really help when we come to your your portfolio. It'll really help when we come to your portfolio at the end of the semester, and you have to write about how each essay developed for you and what you might change or how you worked on revising them. So make sure that you are reflecting back on each essay as we go. All right, so now that we've reflected a little bit on essay 2, I want to talk about essay 3. So if essay 2 was a struggle for you and you were like, oh man, I'm really glad that that's over, we're just going to close the door on essay 2 for now, and we're going to look on at essay 3. So for this essay, I'm calling it Belief, because I want you to really think about something that you feel strongly about, an issue that you care about, and use that as the basis for your writing. So the assignment sheet I have over here to the right, there is also a copy of it on our week 7 readings and materials under the essay 3 folder on Blackboard. So for our third essay, we're going to practice what's called a reaction essay. So to do a reaction, what you first need is something to react to. So first, I want you to think about what are some things that you care about, and then you're going to find a reading, an article, a text of some kind that discusses the issue that you care about. Your essay is actually going to summarize that text and then respond with your own ideas, kind of whether you agree or disagree and why. So this is a different kind of style of writing than we've done before, but it's a good way to practice both summarizing and responding. This is a really common type of writing you might see in college, but then also in a career. There's often ideas that we have to sort of take in, think about, and then respond to. So it's not just the writing I want to practice, it's the thinking. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose a reading or a text. I'm going to talk a minute about how to choose that. Then you're going to summarize it. You're going to give a thesis, which is your opinion about the reading itself. You're going to react to the reading. You can include quotes to support your ideas, and then you're going to give an opposing viewpoint. All of these pieces are discussed in the readings for this week, so make sure that you're doing those readings as well. So the first thing I want you to think about is an issue that appeals to you and that may appeal to other people. So for me, I am really passionate about immigration issues. I used to be an ESL teacher. My master's is in English as a second language, so maybe I would find a reading or an article about immigration and use that to discuss. It's an issue that I know something about and I also have an opinion on. Remember that this is not a research paper, so what I do not want you to do is choose an issue you've never heard of and take this as an opportunity to say, here's everything I learned. That's not what we're doing. I want you to think about something that you care about already. So for example, I also know a lot about teaching during COVID because that's something that obviously I've experienced firsthand. So maybe I would find an article or a reading about that and then respond to it. You know, think too about issues that people have different opinions on. You don't want to choose something that everybody can agree. Like, everybody, we don't need to really argue about, I don't know, issues like whether marijuana should be legal in the US. I think this is one that students sometimes pick, but it's becoming legal in many places. And so that argument is a little overdone. And most people would be like, well, yeah, maybe it should. Or they might say, well, no, it shouldn't, but there's not much we can do about that since it's becoming legalized. So issues like legalizing marijuana, like abortion, or anything that's been really hashed out, like we've already heard those arguments a lot, maybe you want to stray away from, because you want this to be a topic that is different and can make an impact without kind of just repeating what other people have said. And then also, you don't have to think about just controversial issues. You can think about fun things like sports or music or family or food, something that you watched recently or something that you've read, something that you really felt impacted by. So I don't want you to think, just because I often am, thinking about social issues doesn't mean that that's what you have to choose. All right. So if you are a big sports fan and you find a article talking about a recent game and someone that should have played better than they did, choose that. I think that as long as it's something that you can connect to, it's a good choice. So once you've chosen kind of your topic, I want you to find a reading that applies to that topic. Any of the readings in our book will work. So if you have the book in front of you, you'll notice each chapter has a little thing at the bottom that says readings. There we go. And there's usually 3 to 4 readings per chapter. Any of the readings in our book will work. Any of the readings we've discussed already, or if you've kind of flipped through it and you're like, oh, hey, this one looks good. That looks interesting. Something I care about. Choose that. You can also choose a blog post or a news article. If you do that, make sure that it has an argument, something you can respond to. I don't want just something informative, because we're kind of practicing a bit of an argumentative angle. And then please email me for approval if you're choosing something that's not in our book. So the first thing you want to do, think about something you care about, and then choose a reading that applies to that topic. All right. So once you've done those things, you can kind of start the readings for this week. One of the readings is an article called "Is College Worth It?" So this is a reading you could choose for your essay 3. This discusses whether the idea of college is actually worth it. And I think this is something that all of us are concerned about. As an English professor, I absolutely think that college is worth it. But I also recognize that college isn't always achievable or attainable or easy. I think we have all of this pressure to go to college, to get a good job. And the question is that really what we should be focusing on? So the reading for this week's discussion board is called "Is College Worth It?" So some things to think about, and the questions here are what's kind of discussed in that reading. Why do we think that the enrollment of men in colleges has been going down? What are some reasons someone might decide not to go to college? Where you are now, do you feel like college is worth it? And then, do you have plans to transfer to a 4-year school? Why or why not? So think about these things when you're reading "Is College Worth It?" And then also ask yourself, how would you react? If you were having a conversation with the author, what would you say? What would you talk about? So the assignment for this week is an outline of essay 3. I think there's been some confusion about what an outline is versus a draft. The outline is a plan, okay? It's just some questions to answer about the reading that you've chosen to kind of get you thinking about the draft. The draft itself is not due until next week, all right? And then the assignments you've got this week, discussion board 7 and the outline for essay 3. So again, you are not drafting this week. You are just planning this week. Okay, so look over the outline document. Let me know if you have any questions. I will also submit a example reaction essay that you might use to kind of get your ideas going. All right, so hopefully this will be a kind of different and new type of writing for many of us. This is actually the first time I'm doing this essay for English 97, so I'm really excited to see how it goes. And I will talk to you guys soon.